Happy Thanksgiving, everybody. Hello, and welcome to Wine Library TV. I am your host, Gary Chuck, and this, my friends, is the Thunder Show, aka the Internet's most passionate wine program. Tonight, I don't know if you're getting settled in and just about to watch the game. You're probably in around, I don't know if you've noticed this, people are eating earlier. So like 1, 2, 3 in the afternoon. When do you do your Thanksgiving dinner?
Last year was 7:30
p.m. So you are not on the earlier scale.
They are not on the earlier
I like the earlier scale. So tonight I'm just making my prediction, 24-3 Bengals. And I want to wish you guys all a happy Thanksgiving. Now you may be watching the day before. We decided to post this on Wednesday evening because a lot of people have been asking to get pre-Thanksgiving dinner. So here are the 3 wines. If you're unfamiliar or first time watching or didn't catch it, we did a secret pack. We do that every Thanksgiving where I send 3 random wines in a box and you get to taste along with me. So I'm going to try to slow it down, incorporate, and recognize that many of you are now sitting with these 3 wines in front of you ready to drink. I know it's a tradition for many of you. I want to thank all of you. I've got some food here just mainly because this is how I like to keep it real. I'm actually hungry right now. So I'm just going to I'm hungry. There's nothing here that's, Israeli dates don't scream Thanksgiving. Korean beef jerky doesn't scream Thanksgiving. But I'm hungry, and that's that. So, 3 good wines. You always hear about Beaujolais and Zinfandel, and those have been well documented. But one of the great wines for Thanksgiving is Riesling, and this is the Sugarprum 2007 Grocker Hermelrick Riesling Spätlese, and this is a beautiful, $18 to $25 bottle of Riesling. Has a great 90-point score from the Wine Spectator, and I chose this because I think this will go tremendous with a lot of your foods. Plus, if you're watching this now on Wednesday, see, this is kind of cool. Actually, we should have probably been, taping this on Wednesdays or airing this on Wednesdays all along. Gives people a little bit of a, if they want to sneak peek how they want to go about pouring them. This is an amazing aperitif. Great first wine when everybody gets in, especially if something that looks like this before you guys sit down and really eat. Great way to go. So let's give this a sniffy sniff. And there's some grapefruit coming through, like some apple flavors that I think are quite pretty. Little sugar cane. There's a little burnt tire going on. Now, in subsequent wines, you may want to, if you're skilled, you already paused it, you all smelled the wine, and then you wanted to see what I said and see who matches up. I know that's been a lot of fun. I remember one guy going nuts because his aunt guessed it and she went wild and spilled the wine on herself. So, next 2 wines, you can pour ahead, sniff it, and then wait, and then see what I say, see if we match up. But this one, is coming across with some apple. There's a little bit of a rubber kind of petrol thing going on. So you smell a little bit of that gas station, technical car thing going on. I wonder how many of you are getting that. Really nice. Let's give it a shot. So this is a Spätlese, which is going to always have a little bit more fruit. While you're sipping a little bit, zoom in on this. Just want them to see the Spätlese. That is always going to mean a little bit more of a sugar level, so keep that in mind. So this wine has nice crisp acidity, very beautiful apple flavor. Sorry, some peaches, a little fig. You can see it's a little spritzy, has nice acidity, but very light and easy drinking. Now, your Uncle Lou might be sitting there doing this and be like, this wine is weak. Give me the red stuff. Forget this guy. And I'm a big Bengals fan anyway. Or there's other people in the family who maybe don't like wine as much. This is a nice entry into it. So if you have a beer lover, older brother who only drinks beer, or Aunt Sue who doesn't like wine, or Johnny who gets headaches, Uncle Phil, I highly recommend pouring this out to a lot of the non-wine drinkers in the family because it's a very approachable entry-level category. I really do believe that German Rieslings are one of the great entries into wine, and this goes spectacular with string beans and stuffing, that can be light, even some of the more dessert-like dishes that we have this time of year. If you've got some sweet yams or, sweet potato pie or sweet potatoes with marshmallows, I highly recommend this. This is nice, crisp, and clean.
It's really good.
Do you like it?
Yes.
Do you like it more than the Vouvray we had on Monday? That $22 Vouvray.
That was good
They're
too.
different.
It's different style. This is probably a little more complex than a Vouvray.
Sorry, I'm trying to find angles to eat. You're eating. I want to eat. Good acidity, really crisp and really clean. I think Spectator nails this. This is a 90-point wine to me. I'm a fan. Very nice wine. You know, light, easy drinking, but has complexities. You know, to me, I thought the Vouvray was a little more complex, but, you know, Mott, going off recall, thinks this is, you know, a little more complex, which means he thinks this is complex. It's not, you know, it doesn't really matter what he thinks really about the last one. So I agree. I think this has a lot of complexity to it for a light wine because there's a lot of different flavors going on and it kind of changes direction. It goes really well with some of the cheeses I'm eating here. And I like this light apple thing going on. It's really quite nice, Mott, so I'm a fan. All right, let's move on. Now, real interesting debate of which wine would be next. I'm going to go with this wine. I'm going to do a little rinse. I'm really a fan of this. I've already drank 2 bottles of this recently, so I'm a big fan of this wine. This is the Patrick Lessec 2006 Chateauneuf de Pape Gallet Blanc. 93 points Robert Parker, 92 to 94 Josh Reynolds. It's a $38 bottle of wine. It is a Chateauneuf de Pape, which comes from the Southern Rhone in France. It is 85% Grenache, 12% Syrah, 3 Vedre. A premium wine in all of its accounts. Has great color. Let's give it a sniffy sniff. Now there's some big chalkiness coming through here and some cranberry flavors and a little bit of creaminess as well. And almost like sour cherry coming through, which I think is fascinating. Very aggressive on the nose. You can smell the tannins. This is kind of now where you want to bring out, you know, Grandpa Jack is going to like this. You know, this is real man's wine. This is like, your grandpa's going to tell you this is the kind of wine his grandpa made. You know, it's big and robust. There's a little bit of gaminess coming through here. So you've got to recognize that. But there's beautiful sour cherries coming through. And so I think red fruit is dominating the nose here. And it smells perfumey like. I mean, it kind of does smell like, you know, air freshener. You know, kind of like Strawberry Fields. Tss. Do I just owe some money to the Beatles?
Or Steve Jobs.
Or Steve Jobs, right? Not Jobs, I'll tell you. Very clean, very focused nose. Let's give it a whirl. So you see there's a big mouthfeel, but you're also going to taste, and you're going to taste this, a very aggressive tannins on the back end. And so tonight, when you're doing some birds, you know, and maybe some duck, Mott, what do you have for your, you know, do you have any outside the box traditional dishes for Thanksgiving?
No.
Nothing?
Pretty standard.
So, turkey.
Turkey, stuffings, mashed potatoes, jerk bean casserole, stuff, yams. Maybe the pearl onions. That's maybe the most eccentric thing.
Pearl onions.
Yeah.
By
like
themselves?
No, they're like in a cream sauce.
Okay. That sounds good.
It's good.
My mom makes definitely, you know, sweet potato with, you know, the marshmallows on top. Actually, here it is. The food and wine. We had Ray Isle the other day. We are in food and wine. Let's see if we can find it. Show my mom's dishes here. There we are. We were in food and wine in the Thanksgiving issue. You may have that laying around. So for all you Vaniacs, you're the best, and you're trying to convince your family why they should watch this right now, you know, on Thanksgiving. See if the food and wine's laying around. See, like I told you. And so, like, it talks about some of the dishes. And, like, here it says funny. It says, Gary is such a fan of cranberry sauce, he eats it as a side dish, which is true. I'm a huge cranberry guy. And I was going to say, this wine, actually, with cranberry sauce would go tremendous because it's got red fruit sensibility. And I think a double red fruit play would be quite nice here. Now, this is a big wine. This is a very big wine. And so if you're watching this early, let it decant for an hour or two. And or if you're having this at 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock in the afternoon, you guys are all watching now, I can't wait till you watch my New York Jets dismantle Carson Palmer and the Bengals. You could really leave this open just like this on the counter and come back to it in 3 or 4 hours. You'll be stunned how much the wine opens up, how much of the floral component comes through, and that bitterness I think is bothering a lot of you right now on the back end will go away and open up and become sweeter and more consumable. Let's give it one more shot. Now, while I was talking to Mott, I ate a little Spanish chorizo. It's going to be a little bit different than your turkey or some of your other dishes. However, it brought some food and some, you know, fat to my palate. And this wine is not as aggressive now and kind of goes a little more seamless. That sour cranberry cherry thing is really dominating this wine. And a little red, rose petal component, little floral action is coming through. It's kind of gamey too. Get a little bit of like a beef jerky component. Not because I ate some Korean beef jerky, though it is tremendous. And I find this to be a very serious, complete wine. And if you're in a situation where you're having Thanksgiving dinner with some serious wine drinkers, I think they're going to find this quite sensational. It's a very good wine. I think Parker and Josh Reynolds with the 93 and 94 point scores are in the ballpark. To me, I'm going to agree with Parker and say it's a 93 point wine. And at 38 bones, I just think it's a spectacular. Again, you're going to find this wine between $38 and $50 a bottle, but if you can find it in that $38, $39 range, I think it's a spectacular, and maybe even a little bit. And by the way, I very much anticipate, some chocolate cakes. This is a great after dinner thing.
John K. and Ian, please come to Brandon Thomas. John K. and
So
Ian.
I know we're all going to see this scene a little bit where people are going to watch the football game. If that happens to be a family that also loves cigars, if you got cousin Jack brings some cigars, I highly recommend pairing this as well because it's got a little bit of that tobacco sensibility. Great wine. I hope you enjoyed it. Great after dinner wine with chocolate. So think about matching that up as well. Very underrated aspect of some of the great Chateauneuf de Pape's. Grenache is a very, very powerful and practical varietal for chocolate dishes. So keep that in mind. So finally, the Linda Flor Malbec. Probably my most... I did a whole episode on this before. Fell in love with this wine. We did a whole episode where I tasted 3 vintages of this wine. I've been very passionate about this wine. 93 point Stephen Tanzer. If that tells you anything. If you're a wine nerd, or if there's one in the room right now, they'll tell you how tough Tanzer is. And so to get 93 points from him, it's ridiculous. $40 to $50 a bottle out there in the market. Very sought after high-end Malbec. And Malbec has taken the country by storm. Some of the most sought-after wines right now are made from Argentina, from Malbec, but especially in that $8 to $15 price range. They are very much considered value plays from Argentina. However, Linda Flor is one of the great, Malbecs from Argentina, from Mendoza, from a winery called Monteviejo. It is spectacular. It is big. It is powerful. I only did it a couple months ago, as you can see, very inky on the sniffy sniff. Some really, just smell that much, some amazing vanilla, oaky, kind of like blackcurrant flavors going on. It smells like a dessert. Just got shoved directly up your nose. And a delicious dessert. One that was expensive. Like, one of those fancy, like, Upper East Side, like, small cakes is $40. You're like, what? Like, rent's expensive. That whole thing. That kind of expensive dessert. Very, very creamy. I will definitely say that this is a more complex, different kind of wine. And my guess is that 75% to 85% of the people that are going to be watching this and tasting with new people that are watching this show and are pouring these to, this will be more popular amongst your friends and relatives. Let's give it a whirl. This has explosive juiciness. Very dark, almost like chocolate covered. What are those cherries, Mott, with the M? Marcino cherries, exactly. Very delicious. This has a delicious factor to taste about, but it's very big. This is a very massive wine. However, that fruit goes tremendous, and the juiciness goes extremely good with turkey, in my opinion. This, to me, is going to be one of the turkey wines in the Vaynerchuk household this holiday season. That juiciness is just too delightful. What do you think? Big, hot, can be big on the palate, tannin.
It's not that bad.
And you're sensitive to red wines.
Yeah.
But the smoothness and the big fruit is winning you over. Definitely. This is Mott, not Ma. I know a lot of people watch for the first time on Thanksgiving. When I say Mott, that's Chris Mott, M-O-T-T, like the apple flavors we get in this wine. My mom's not taping, though. That would be amazing. I'd kick you out immediately for her. She's number one. So really big wine, great wine with Thanksgiving, in my opinion, because I've had this with turkey and especially dark meat. So if you're dark meat, dark or light?
I like to mix it in.
Yeah, me too. I like the skin.
Skin's good, but that's really...
Is that bad?
It's really bad.
I'm really not... Why is the skin bad? It's so delicious. Anyway.
Isn't that how life is? Everything's
Yeah,
delicious.
that's a very good point. Well, I'm delicious and I'm not that bad. So, the wink. really, really structured, powerful wine. Would go great with an hour or two of decanting. I'm dying for the comments down below because I know a lot of you are going to be tasting along, and I just think that a lot of you are going to be completely blown away by this Malbec structure. And by the way, if you're not tasting along, you didn't buy the pack, if you tasted any of these 3 wines and have your 2 cents, please add them. And so in general, wrapping up, it's a 93.94 point wine. This is spectacular. This is as good as most $40 wines, as good as any $40 wine in the tens of thousands of bottles that we have at Wine Library. I'm a humongous fan. Great structure, will last for 10 to 15 years. If you love this, what a way to go and put in the cellar as a holiday gift for somebody. Great stuff. I want to wish everybody a healthy Thanksgiving, a very happy one. Family is the game, and having family around at Thanksgiving is what makes my soul smile, and so I'm very happy. And so the question of the day, which we all do, and whoever dragged you into watching this will tell you we always do a question, so please answer. What is the best wine you had on Thanksgiving? So I know you gotta go through it. Maybe you'll come back to this. This will sit in there Thursday and Friday and Saturday and Sunday. I'll see you back on Cyber Monday, and I wish you guys all just a tremendous holiday, not only now but through this season, and a tremendous year. Stay well. You, oh yeah, you, with a little bit of me, we're changing the wine world.